Alrighty, welcome in to episode 20, y'all. Week 18, NFL Power Rankings, games, and playoff picture. Of course, I am your host, Big Nate, aka Always Triggered. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to go through my power rankings in my unique 3-segment style, which concludes in the top 10. We're going to go ahead and go over some playoff picture stuff. We will go ahead and get you the Week 18 game slate, so you can see all the final games of the regular season here, and the top 5 games of the week as well. So, as always, let's get started right off in that basement. At 32, I have the Jaguars, 31 Giants, 30 Lions, 29 Panthers, 28 Texans, 27 Jets, 26 football team, 25 Seahawks, 24 Chicago Bears, 23 Miami Dolphins, 22 Broncos, and the 21 ranked team, Atlanta Falcons. Go ahead and flip over to my article view here, guys. By the way, my article where you can read every team's blurb is in the description below. I also want to go ahead and take a little short time out here on the first Hatless stream to say to all my friends and family members and people all around the United States that have been affected by either the snowstorm or the fires out in Colorado, those people who are struggling with their homes, I'm thinking about all of you guys, all my friends, family members that are going through stuff. I am thinking about all of you guys. Much love. Be safe. I hope you enjoy the podcast when you get around to watching it. If you need anything, of course, hit me up. Let me know. I am more than willing and happy to help you all out. So jumping into the basement, the 2 teams that I wanted to talk about in this segment were the Dolphins, of course, dropping 9 spots. It's a pretty big drop. And, you know, I was very high on them in their winning streak, but when you look at their winning streak in the 7 teams that they, or the 6 teams because they played the Jets twice, look at the record of the teams that they beat. It was a total of 37-75. That's a 33% winning percentage of their opponents. So they really just kind of, they're a middling team, 8-8. They beat all the bad teams they played. They lose to really good teams. Dolphins just not cutting it, especially when you got 2 out there just fumbling the ball without even being touched. It's just not a good game for them. And the Giants were the other team I wanted to talk about here. Just, you know, they're just not there to me with what they got going on. With all the moves they made in the beginning of the season. And now they have questions with the management. Of course, they have questions with their roster personnel and their roster construction. There's just so many questions. I really do like Daniel Jones, but I thought the Giants were going to be somewhat competitive. It is always a little bit of a better NFL when they are. I'll just go ahead and move right along here to the Fringe. At 20, I have the Browns, 19 Vikings, 18 Saints, 17 is the Steelers, 16 Eagles, 15 Raiders, 14 Ravens, 13 49ers, 12 is the Chargers, and the 11th ranked team is the New England Patriots. All right, so of course the Patriots dropping 2 spots out of the top 10, coming off that blowout that they just destroyed the Jaguars. It's interesting to see them drop 2 spots. All the teams above them, honestly, just make a better case for being in the top 10 the end of the year. The Patriots have a lot of good things going on with them. Just some of the times when they're not on par, when they're not running, they do look a little weaker. Still 11 is an amazing ranking for them. All right, so in the Fringe here, we've got quite a few teams that have not clinched a playoff spot. So these are teams that could potentially miss the playoffs completely that are ranked fairly high on my ranking here going into the last week of the season. Those would include teams like the 49ers there at rank 13. You've got the Baltimore Ravens right behind them at 14. The Raiders at 15. The Eagles have clinched, so they're not in this group. But then right behind them, 17 and 18. So Steelers and Saints also not guaranteed. So 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18, all not guaranteed to make the playoffs. So literally it's called the Fringe for a reason. These teams are right on the edge, and this is coming down to the final week. We're going to get into some of these matchups here in just a moment, but interesting to see how these teams kind of panned out here toward the end of the year. All right, let's go ahead and jump right on in here to the top 10 teams heading into the final week of the regular season. At number 10, you got the Dallas Cowboys. Now, of course, they lost to the Cardinals. 45 yards rushing is not going to do it for the Cowboys. There's always plenty to be said about the Dallas Cowboys. They played a lot better earlier in the year, I feel. They're just not quite the same as they were earlier in the year. And Can they get it right? Yes, they can. If they do, they can be dangerous. If they don't, they might just fizzle out. Number 9, the Indianapolis Colts. So they had a tough loss versus the Raiders there. That was a very, very close game. I still think what the Colts have, they're a very well-rounded team. They get turnovers. They have great play on both sides of the line of scrimmage and their offensive line and their defensive line. Really, really impressed with what the Colts have done this year. Number 8, the Arizona Cardinals. So a huge win for the Cardinals, of course, beating the Dallas Cowboys. That's why they moved up 5 spots here in my ranking. They bounced back after losing 3 straight games. Kyler Murray's perfect in Dallas, and a lot of signs are pointing to a possible rematch here. We'll get into more of that, like I said, here in just a moment. But Cardinals looking damn good. Number 7, Buffalo. They were 7 last week. They're 7 this week. Great team. Josh Allen dependent. No lie about that. I said it last week. It's still very true here. Sometimes he shows us he can be a little reckless with the football. So however Josh Allen goes, typically is how the Bills go. Number 6, Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase went off. 266 yards on 11 receptions. It's great effort. Great speed. Great connection with Joe Burrow. Really impressed with what the Bengals are able to do here. They won the AFC North, and that is no easy feat at all. Number 5, LA Rams. People want to dog on Matthew Stafford with the turnovers. He did have 3 of them. They weren't pretty, not even close. But going over to Baltimore, winning in M&T Bank, that's not easy to do either. West Coast to East Coast. I really think the Rams can beat you in a lot of different ways. They have great superstars all over the field, and those players are contributing. And when it comes to playoff time, that's what you need. Number 4, the Tennessee Titans. So the Tennessee Titans, number 1 seed actually in the AFC, ranked 4th in my ranking. They are getting big old King Henry's coming back. And this is not news to me. That's surprising, guys. I've said it on this podcast before, based on his surgery, based on what his injury was and how it was likely to recover. A lot of people who read up on his injury knew that he could very well recover. And I saw him practicing here today live on my television. So he looked really good. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We can all talk about AB, but I'll probably have to take a whole nother segment or even a whole nother episode, and I'm not going to get into that other than saying that, mental health is a very serious thing, and people do need to think about that a little bit before we just, go clapping and cheering away. But anywho, the Bucs, they have Tom Brady. 34 for 50, 410 yards, 3 tuds. He is the GOAT, and he completed balls to 10 different receivers last week. When Tom Brady's got it going on, even though they were losing to the Jets, he can make those game-winning throws. He's got no problems, no issues doing that. And I think everyone, including myself, when I was watching it, felt the same way. I was just like, just wait for it. He's going to do it. And he threw that beautiful ball to Cyril. So, number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. So they had a huge lead there, or a good lead. Like, it felt comfortable with that 28-17 lead against the Bengals. They only scored 3 points in the second half. Their offense got completely shut down. Not the best performance at all by them. I still think they're a good team. I think going up to Cincinnati is going to be a tough place to play. And I still believe the Chiefs should be the favorite in the AFC. They're not the same team as they've always been. I've been saying that all year. This is not the shoe-in to the Super Bowl Chiefs that I've seen the last 3 years. Although I will say these Chiefs this year, they play pretty well on defense. And when they play complementary football, they really are one of the better teams in the NFL. All right, guys. And, of course, the new segment here coming toward the end of the year is our push for the playoff segment. So let's go and start off with the NFC. For the NFC, we have the Green Bay Packers, who are locked into the number 1 seed. It's most likely going to go Rams, Buccaneers, Cowboys, in my opinion, based on the schedule. We're going to get into some of the games here in just a moment, but that's how it's looking. We have the NFC West up for grabs, so there is a chance that the Cardinals can win their division, which would put the Rams in the wild card. It would most likely move the Buccaneers to 2 and put the Cardinals at 3 because they have the tiebreaker by beating the Cowboys last week. So it's looking like Dallas is going to be pretty much locked in at the 4 spot. And then you have the 49ers and Saints battling for the last playoff spot, even though the 49ers have a tiebreaker over the Eagles. At this current time, the Eagles have clinched their ticket to the playoffs. So if the 49ers lose and the Saints win, that could get flip-flopped around. And we'll go into those games, like I said, in just a moment. In the AFC, so in the AFC right now, your number one seed is the Tennessee Titans. If they win, they will remain the number one seed here after next week. Now the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, and Patriots all getting in, but the order, we got to really sort this out. The division up for grabs in the AFC is the AFC East between the Buffalo Bills and Patriots. Both of them are guaranteed to make it in. So very interesting dynamic. We have 2 wildcard spots available in the AFC, and we have 5 total teams fighting for that. The Chargers, the Colts, who would be in today, and the Raiders, the Raiders, the Steelers, and the Ravens on the outside looking in. So the schedule this week, it's made a little bit easier to see how it's going to kind of pan out. And I'm going to go over that here for you in just a second. If the playoffs started today, I wanted to go and just lay this picture out for us. I thought some interesting stuff here. You would have the Packers and Titans, of course, with the week off. And then there's your matchups there for the rest of the way. You got the Eagles and Rams, 49ers and Bucks, Arizona and Dallas. In the NFC, and in the AFC, you have the Chargers, Chiefs, Colts and Bengals, and the Patriots and Bills. So you have a total out of these 6 games that would be 3 rematches, Chargers and Chiefs, epic third game rematch for them, an epic third game rematch for the Patriots and Bills. So that's the AFC side. And then you have the NFC, which was a great game last week between the Cardinals and Cowboys. I think it would be a great game in the playoffs too. And then you have 3 unique matchups that have not happened this year, where the Eagles face the Rams, 49ers face the Bucks, and the Colts face the Bengals. All right, let's get you that last week of the season game slate. We've got some Saturday games too. So the NFL moved these games around to make the games more interesting and kind of played at the same time as to what relevance they have to each other. On Saturday, we have a pair of games. Those games being 4:30, Kansas City at Denver, and 8:15, Dallas at Philadelphia. On Sunday, you have 1 p.m., Cincinnati at Cleveland, Green Bay at Detroit, Chicago at Minnesota, Washington football team at the Giants, Indianapolis at Jacksonville, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. That's probably going to be the best game to watch there at 1 p.m., and Tennessee at Houston. Now, 4:25, you have New Orleans and Atlanta, the Jets at Buffalo, San Francisco at the Rams, New England at Miami, Seattle at Arizona, and Carolina at Tampa Bay. And 8:20 p.m., you have that pretty much playoff game right there. You've got the Chargers versus the Vegas Raiders. It's right now pretty certain: win and you're in, lose and you're out. That's basically how it works. There are some weird scenarios, but I don't think they're going to work out that way. On Monday, we do have that On Monday, we do have the NCAA championship game, in which we have the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Georgia Bulldogs. There you go. NFL guy with some college knowledge there. I did watch them play versus each other a couple weeks back. I thought that game was epic. I asked one of my best friends if it was possible that they could rematch in the playoffs. He said it is possible. And I guess my good old coaching eye saw what I saw, and I thought those 2 teams were pretty damn good, and I get to watch them again. So I'm very excited to watch that game on Monday night. If you guys are too, let me know. Let me know down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Guys, almost forgot a segment. Oh, and last week I got my top 5 was cut off because I didn't edit my video correctly. Let's go and get you those top 5 games for week 18, guys. Number 5, Cowboys and Eagles. There you go. Ranked number 10 versus number 16. 2 teams that are in the playoffs already in prime time. Going to be a great game there for us on Saturday night. Number 4, Saints at Falcons. Number 18 versus 21. Those are also a good matchup there. The Saints have to win to get in and hope that the 49ers lose. Number 3, Steelers and Ravens. This is pretty much a playoff game as well. It's going to be happening at 1 o'clock. Like I said, very good game to watch there Sunday afternoon or early afternoon. Number 2, the 49ers and Rams. There's your 4:25 game there, probably America's game of the week. Number 13, 49ers versus number 5 Rams. 49ers win, and they're guaranteed to be in. Rams, of course, wanting to get the best seed that they can, and they don't want to lose and have the Cardinals win because then they lose the division. Number 1, best game of the week, last game of the entire year for the regular season, and that would be the Chargers and Raiders. That pretty much playoff game. You win and you're in. You lose and you're gone. That's basically how it's going to work on Sunday night. I can't wait to watch. There you go. You've got a game to watch pretty much at every single time throughout the weekend, guys. All right, now, thank you guys so much for watching, all my friends, family. Again, I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe out there. I hope that your power's up and running and that you get nice and warm and that we can get some groceries and maybe cook up some chili and watch these football games. Much love, guys. Peace. Maybe we should do that again.